Hey everybody, welcome to the Don't Quit Your Day Job podcast. This is our first episode, and these are my co-hosts, Keith and Adam, and we're going to talk about all kinds of topics today, mostly entertainment, maybe movies, television, all kinds of topics.
Maybe get a little.
And we're going to give you a lot of useless information that you can share with your friends.
Trivial stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuff that stuff that people can come up to you and say, you know what? You should do a podcast about this stuff, and this is why we're here.
Maybe a little of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Classic television. Things where youngsters, millennials will say, "Damn, they're freaking old."
Or they'll.
Can we curse on?
Yeah, of course we can. It's a fucking podcast.
It's a podcast.
Good.
You
Fuck.
can say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Instead of looking at their cell phones, we actually looked at a television or listened to a radio, or played an album.
Yeah, let's talk about like when we were young, growing up in the 80s. Yeah. I mean, in the 80s, we didn't have any of this technology.
No.
I mean, we barely even had computers.
No, our form of traveling entertainment was a Walkman.
We had a Walkman with cassette tape.
And some of us didn't have a Sony Walkman.
We had a phony.
No, we had the no frills.
FONY.
We had the no frills one from like Crazy Eddie or something like that.
Crazy Eddie.
Crazy Eddie.
How about Odd Lot Chip discount? For those of you who don't know,
I gotta tell you something with Odd Lot. I got my entire Atari 2600 library.
Remember they had did they have that? The Activision.
They had Activision, yeah, and they had Intellivision.
I had ColecoVision.
No.
Let me explain something about Atari.
Yeah.
My parents were cheap. Well, my father didn't have the money back then, but my parents were really cheap. And like Sears came out with the same thing as Atari, and it was only like $20 cheaper. So I got the Sears version of the Atari.
CSS version.
So if you thought the stick people graphics on Atari were bad, I bet you I can imagine the one on the Sears unit.
The
was the
CSS
same
version
thing.
of Atari at Times Square stores.
Well, hey, does anybody remember? Do you remember Pong? Do you remember Pong?
Oh God!
Yeah, I had that. I had Pong.
That's predating the Atari
Pong
2600.
Pong was like Pong was the precursor to Atari,
right?
And I think actually Atari created Pong.
Yes, yes,
they
I
did.
believe
Yeah,
so.
they did, and it led to
Uh-huh.
Atari. But the games were so bad on. I remember one of the worst games on Atari 2600. Ironically, and it's celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, is E.T. It was one of the. It was the dumbest game ever.
Did you see that documentary? I didn't see that
they
documentary
like
yet, but I heard
they
it was good.
dumped all these ET games in like
thousands, right?
Like sanitation. It was like in a dump or something.
Yeah.
And they're worth a lot of money now.
But
right?
you know what was also hard? The Indiana Jones game.
The Indiana Jones, and it was even
was tough.
And it was a James Bond game where it was based off Octopussy, where he was jumping on the train cars. Octopussy.
I don't know.
You said we were about to curse.
These kids don't know about Octopussy. They would get offended by that.
Oh, come on. Mark Wahlberg referenced it in Ted 2.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Was that Ted 2 or Ted 1?
Ted 1.
Ted 1.
Yeah.
Ted 1.
It was one of the most underrated. It's not one of the most. It's not a really memorable Bond song, but it's a. What do you want? Rita Coolidge and Tim Rice wrote it. All right. What do you?
It's an all-time high, right?
All-time high.
Well, you're the James Bond expert.
All-time high. Remember Mark Wahlberg with his singing skills?
Oh yeah.
Not as good as Rockstar, but
okay. All I got to know is
that wasn't his voice?
I didn't really put. Speaking of Mark Wahlberg and his singing, I didn't realize. This is what this podcast is going to be about. We're going to throw out all this information. You'll be like, oh my God.
See, I'm a nice guy. I don't say Marky Mark.
I didn't realize that when I was watching it in the movie Boogie Nights when he's trying to have when Dolph Diggler.
Dirk Diggler. You're getting Dolph Lundgren and Dirk Diggler confused.
I must fuck you.
I've got a huge cock.
So wrong. So wrong.
I've got a huge
Anyway, when he's in toward the like with the part where it was like almost the climax where he's in a recording studio and he's singing, "You got the touch, you got the power." I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, why does that song sound familiar? Oh shit, that was the theme from Transformers the movie.
Oh, by the way, because I'm an audio junkie, I gotta fix your microphone.
With John C. Reilly with the headband. He's wearing the headband,
and he's like this.
I love the 80s.
No, but I'm saying,
did we go see that together?
We did.
Yeah,
we all saw it together. We all saw it together, dude. That was the.
How about the restaurant scene? No, when they were shooting the porno restaurant scene, he's sitting there with a toothpick in his mouth, like.
No, but when they
food
do
is excellent here.
No, but when they when they're doing the collage of videos,
I want something
when
in
they're
my
doing
mouth.
the collage
I
videos,
can't wait to have
he's like-
something in my mouth.
And he's like, and then he goes like this. He says, and then at the end of the thing, after they start kicking some ass, the guys, hey, let's catch some of that Saturday Night Fever.
No, but Luis Guzman.
And Poncherello and
When Luis Guzman is behind the bar.
the roller disco.
He's like,
Dude, I gotta
and,
fix
and
your
he tells Burt Reynolds' character, you're gonna find me some work, right? You're gonna put me in your movies, right?
Hey, you're gonna find he's Guzman. He's basically his eyebrows are basically an actor in themselves. They're a separate actor from him.
Though he was good in the Count of
What were you
Monte
saying about
Cristo.
Burt Reynolds? What were you saying?
Count-
You were about to say something
yeah.
about a scene.
Yeah.
Well, you were
No,
about to say
Luis
something about a scene.
Guzman. He's like at
No,
the bar.
You
and
said
he's-
something about Burt Reynolds. You said you were
Burt
about to say
Reynolds? No, that
from
was
the movie.
him.
No, from the movie.
No, I
you
didn't
were
say
gonna mention the
anything.
scene. Okay,
No.
anyway.
No. He tells Burt Reynolds' character. He tells Luis Guzman, Jack, right? His name was Jack. He's like, Jack, you're gonna put me in your movies, right, man? Come on. You're gonna so he puts him in as the bartender.
You got your syncing. You got your editing. You got your. Burt Reynolds. Did he get an Oscar nomination?
Yes, he
I
did,
think
but he
so,
lost.
yeah.
But
He
he
was
lost.
great.
He lost to Robin Williams for Good Will Hunting.
Did you guys
At
see that
some-
new movie? The last movie he did?
No.
Who?
He-
Burt Reynolds?
yeah, with the girl from Modern Family or whatever. Like basically,
Sarah
he was playing himself.
Hyland?
No, the wild one, the one who plays the sister. She's the studious one. But
Oh,
in
okay,
real
yeah,
life,
yeah.
she's like kind of a party girl.
So wait, he was playing himself.
And she-
Wait,
oh my
is
God,
this
she's
like
got a
the,
banging
so wait a minute,
for her age.
is this
She's
basically
in her
like
20s, like I said.
so it's like Nick Cage playing himself in that other movie?
Yeah, kind of.
Did you guys ever see that
I know.
movie?
Did
Did
you
you
see
see
it
it?
a few weeks ago?
You saw that Nick Cage movie?
No, not the Nick Cage, the Burt Reynolds one.
Okay.
Or whatever. It's
Okay.
a nice little kind of family movie or whatever. He's basically. They insert clips from everything from Deliverance to Navajo Joe to
Smokey and the Bandit.
to Smokey and the Bandit in there, and he's basically talking to himself, going over his life and all that. It's kind of like retrospective, kind of like the Sam Elliott movie that they had like a few years back. Sam Elliott did something like that. Too.
Oh, okay. So it's
But
like
that was more serious. He didn't,
It wasn't like a
Would work
comedy
well.
type thing.
It was a comedy thing or whatever. What it is basically he doesn't call himself Burt Reynolds. He calls himself something else. They call him something else. And
The Bandit.
A retrospective. No, it's like these kids worship him like there's this classic movie star.
Right.
Right.
A la Burt Reynolds. So they're gonna give him an award like these millennial kids or whatever. And it's this girl's job to watch over him and get him and make sure he's kind of a drunk and all that, blah blah blah. And he's he feels sorry for himself and all that. It's one of those. It was good. I guess it was a nice way for Burt Reynolds to go out.
Speaking of Burt Reynolds, because as you guys know, I'm a big movie collector, and but now I have obviously on my phone a lot of digital movies. So when you watch them, and every year or so, or every a couple of years, you're like, oh, I'm in the mood, I want to watch that. So I just watched Smokey and the Bandit
Burton or
again.
Reynolds?
And Smokey and the Bandit, you realize when we were kids, that was like one of the biggest money makers of '77. Obviously, in the top 5 next to Star Wars,
Sally Field
and stuff. Right, but
Prime.
Jackie
Those are big movies.
way before playing MA.
Right, but Jackie Gleason was like you couldn't ask for a better person to play this.
He was so good in that.
He was so.
You son of a bitch.
And then just when he's at the bar and he's slopping down the hamburger, and it's like you can't.
Hey, Junior! Junior,
When
get the car!
When I get home,
Junior, get the car!
When I get home, I'm gonna punch your mama right now.
No,
But speaking of
they would
Jackie,
cancel Jackie Gleason.
But
say for that.
speaking of Jackie
they would cancel
Gleason-
the whole movie.
speaking of Jackie Gleason, The Toy. You can never make a movie like The Toy.
Yeah,
With
no.
the kid
That's
Flick,
what I was thinking a few
the
weeks
kid
ago.
who played Flick,
Who became a porn star?
just briefly. I met that guy. I met him
What's
at one
his
of these.
name? What's his name?
Something
Scott-
Schwartz.
Scott-
Scott
Scott-
Schwartz.
Scott
yeah.
I
Schwartz.
met him. He was actually a pretty good
Between
guy.
The Toy and an episode
Yeah.
of 21 Jump Street and then a
So-
porn star career, but he's doing all right for himself.
So
In
just-
episode 21 Jump Street.
he was on
really?
one of the early episodes.
So just
okay.
to bring it back to the guy that played Flick on November 17th on HBO, they have a new movie. It's like a sequel to
The Toy.
No.
Christmas
the Christmas Story.
No, it is.
Oh,
it
yeah,
is a
Christmas
sequel.
Story. It's a sequel.
It is a
Right, right, right.
sequel.
It takes place, I think, in the 70s.
That's I was going to put that on the list.
and he's in that.
And
Yeah,
Pe-
and the list of new movies.
and
the
Peter-
trailer is out right now.
and,
if you
Pe-
wanna
and Peter
watch it.
and Peter Billingsley.
yeah, he
is
did
back.
not age
Yes.
gracefully. He did not age gracefully.
Hey.
I'll tell you that much.
Did I? We did. Age
We're
happens.
kind of younger than him.
But I tell you,
It's like,
but
I'm
if
not
you,
that
just so
big.
you guys know, but Peter
But,
Billingsley, also known as Messy Marvin, for the what was it? The Hershey syrup commercials when we were growing up. He was Messy Marvin.
I remember he was in something
He was.
else.
He was. Yeah, he was. You remember the Hershey? The Hershey.
He had like
chocolate
kind
syrup.
of. He had kind of a thing like Rick Schroeder and
right,
stuff.
and
Like
then
he was blonde.
and then he went into being a producer. He produced Swingers.
Right.
With John Favreau.
With
Yeah.
Doug Lyman. With
He
Doug
was an
Lyman,
Iron Man too.
Yeah.
He played the guy. He shaved his head.
Do you believe Doug Lyman is going from? I'm sorry, what was non sequitur or sequitur with it? But what do you call it? Doug Lyman is going to do a movie in space with Tom Cruise.
In actual space?
Yeah, they are going to shoot something in space
With Tom Cruise.
with Tom Cruise.
Is Tom Cruise gonna like hang off?
Who else would they do with?
Is he gonna hang off
Who else
the
Well, Tom,
space shuttle or something?
He's going to hang off a satellite.
Well, Tom, you know Tom Cruise is going to do his own stunts. You know.
All right, go on. That's your fun.
We memorialized Tom Cruise today as he fell off the space shuttle today.
I tell you, speaking of Tom Cruise, I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next. I'm looking forward to the next 2 Mission Impossibles. It's a 2-parter.
Yeah.
I mean, now
But the guy went from swingers to doing
Oh.
like these big
Hey, that's what you do. You gotta
things.
you gotta
I
expand
mean,
your
J.J. Abrams
repertoire.
did that too, or whatever. But
who you mean?
wow.
Peter,
Yeah, you can't
what,
stick
Peter
to
Billingsley?
silly
Oh,
comedy
no,
jokes.
producers.
Oh,
J.J.
okay.
Abrams, Doug Lyman, whatever. Like from swingers to like the big action movies and stuff he's done. It's like, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta have range, right?
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
stick
yeah.
to
Well,
one
every
thing.
Swingers.
every big producer or director had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You were mentioning earlier the toy. Richard Donner was directing television shows in the
Kojak.
50s. In fact,
yeah.
he directed the very famous Twilight Zone episode, Terror at 30,000 Feet.
with William Shatner.
Yes.
Shatner.
Yeah.
I see.
He directed the episodes of Lost in Space. So what Richard Donner, he even directed Salt and Pepper with Sammy and Peter Lawford, which was like
You said salt and pepper for a
okay,
second. I
that's-
thought you were like pushing
We gotta
real
bring
good.
back. We gotta find someone to bring back new movie night because we gotta add that to the list of Salt and Pepper.
I know you have,
I know you have special edition Blu-ray.
And
it's on
I
the
wanted
metal
4K,
case.
but,
Wait,
It's gotta be in a metal case.
but wait, it gets
How do you
better.
not have a 4K player? How do you not have 4K?
Because it's called streaming.
It's called streaming. Well,
Streaming.
No,
Oh,
but,
well,
no,
yeah.
but I was going to say, you mentioned Salt and Pepper. Yes, I even have the sequel directed by Mr. Jerry Lewis himself. One More Time.
mayonnaise and
One more, no, it was called One More Time. I can't.
Mayonnaise sandwiches.
One more time.
John
No.
Cougar
I was
Mellencamp.
gonna say mayonnaise and ketchup or something. What's the sequel to Salt
No,
and
it was
Pepper?
called, it was called One More Time, and Jerry Lewis actually directed
It was
it.
corny, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh boy.
So what's on your list there, Adam?
Oh,
What do we got?
Upcoming holiday season movies we'll start with.
So why don't you kick that
Seems like
off?
you guys really wanted to.
no, I mean,
I'll talk
I
about
mean, hopefully
that
the
first.
movies are going to come. They need to come back. I know Avatar's they're going to be the big
You know,
news
it's
for
like.
the holiday.
I mean, do you really think we're going to recover post? A lot of people say that the movie theater is over. A lot of people say that the movie it's going to become a novelty thing.
I think.
I mean, with the economy, it's just going to
Yeah.
be more expensive than ever to go see.
I mean, it's
So
really
we go see-
expensive to take
It's
a
really
family.
expensive, but there are a lot of places now, like not places, theater chains like AMC is bringing back $5 Tuesdays.
Well, that's good.
You know, they need to
Like,
get
they
way,
need a matinee,
they need
like-
they need to get people back into the theaters. You know,
Well, I'll
when-
tell you something.
I mean,
they need more places like Alamo Draft.
Alamo
House.
was very good. Yes.
That's in Brooklyn, New York
as
for you.
far as
No, I know, and
business
actually,
goes,
no,
I have
no,
issues with them.
no. There's one in the
But-
city.
but,
city too.
one in the city?
City by
But
the
the Nighthawk over
That's
here-
the one I went to in the city.
The Nighthawk over here in Prospect.
Just remember, we have a worldwide audience here, so
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay.
The
These are kind
Nighthawk,
of like.
the Nighthawk used to be the old.
How would you describe those new movie theaters where you were the dine-in, where you with a bar?
that's
That's what you- that's how you describe it,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a It's okay. Okay, let me clarify. The Nighthawk has 2 locations: one in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, and one in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And basically, it's a dine-in. It's a little bit of everything. You get the movies, you get to have a drink while you're watching the movie. You get not just popcorn, not just hot dogs or whatever.
Is it like gourmet
You can have like a
food?
braised beef, like
A braised beef?
yeah, like a braised beef sandwich, like a brisket or something like
I
that.
mean, they
something
do that. I mean,
like a
gourmet
good
food,
brisket.
gourmet
Well,
food
yeah, I mean,
type food.
when I went to the
So
Alamo,
it's a great experience, great date thing.
the Alamo in the city, there's one on Liberty Street.
Right.
Not far.
Well, that's
yeah.
bigger. That's more of a chain. This
Right.
is more intimate.
Right.
Smaller.
But the Alamo was cool too because it had the theaters are not big, you know, and you have but the the chairs go back.
Right.
You have your table, and they bring you your food. You can have alcohol. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I saw Top Gun Maverick actually at the Alamo, and it was cool.
Now, did you see that on a huge screen? Or was this?
It was okay. It wasn't huge, but it was more the experience. The sound was fine.
We're Guitavi. We gotta.
No. The
sound.
The sound was good. We felt like the chairs were shaking. It was. Good.
Oh my god! That test pilot sequence.
You know, I still didn't see that.
I was in. How did you not see Top Gun
How did you not see
Maverick?
Top Maverick?
The world saw Top Gun Maverick.
I just. If it's not on streaming, I'm not seeing it.
No, you needed to know. But no.
Curiosity.
See, no, but see that.
I was supposed to go. Remember, we was
with Sophia.
I was supposed to go with you.
Sophia would have probably liked it. My nephew went to go see it.
No, the thing with Top Gun Maverick, that's a type of movie that's going to... Right, that was the movie to get people back into the theaters. And the whole experience to see that. I mean, Tom Cruise, he made sure it was a good story. And it was all about having a great story.
Yeah, and you brought back... And
it was nostalgic.
A great cast of new actors or whatever. What's his name is getting much better as an actor.
John Hamm?
No, well...
Miles Teller?
Good. What are you talking about, John?
Miles Teller.
John Hamm sucked on all those episodes of Mad Men. He was horrible as Don Draper. Somebody else should have done that.
Miles Teller.
Paul Rubens would have made a great Don Draper, you know?
Yeah, Miles Teller. He goes from the wonderful...
Pee Wee Herman.
Miles Teller goes from the wonderful Fantastic Four movie, which I don't think anyone saw.
Miles Teller is much better.
Did you guys get to catch...
And The Offer.
The Offer was amazing.
Right.
That was an amazing...
Who did he play?
He looked sold. He was like...
He played the producer that produced the Godfather movie.
What's his name?
And the funny thing was...
What was his name, Adam?
You should know that.
No, I can't. No, it's on the tip of my mind. No, Robert Abrams.
No. I could look it up.
He went out with Ali McGraw.
No, that's
no. Robert Evans.
Robert Evans.
You're thinking of Robert Evans.
Robert Evans.
No, but Robert Evans.
I've done so much cocaine that my nose.
No. The Kid Stays in the Picture. That was his documentary.
I want to see that.
I saw that picture. Yeah, Albert S. Rudy was the main producer.
Albert S. Rudy, right?
Okay.
And what was he in?
He actually got his start on television on Hogan's Heroes.
No, they showed in the series that he was not. He was in something related to computers originally, or whatever, and he phased
something like that. But then he got into Hogan's Heroes.
Maybe like copiers, Xerox or something like that. I don't know, whatever it was.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, okay.
No, that was a great show.
Adam, remember when we were at and it came up recently because my girlfriend and I watched The Godfather.
Yeah.
And I thought she saw it. She said, "Oh, well, I saw it years ago." So we're watching it, and of course, the scene when Sonny beats the shit out of his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And we were on that street. Remember?
Oh yeah, the
Paramount backlot.
in LA.
Right. And the story is we were on the tour.
Yeah, we were in college.
We were in college. We were on a tour of the Paramount
convention.
Paramount backlot, right? And there was how many people were in that group? 40 people on the tour, at least, right? It was a huge group.
It was
and we had a great tour guide, and we're going down this old New York City street, and the guy says, "Can anybody tell me what this street is famous for?" And I knew right away, but I said, "I want to see if anybody knew." And then I finally raised my hand. I said, and I basically, I remember. I said, yeah, this is the street, and there's the spot right there with the garbage pails where Sonny Corleone beat the shit out of his brother-in-law. Yeah. And he's like, yes, you are correct. And he says, how'd you know? And he said, where are you from? I said, New York. He says, that explains it.
You know, there's a true story. What happened
he
was
actually
really messed him up.
No, he really did. No, he really did. No, he really did hit him with the broomstick.
Because what happened was, according to The Offer, the movie The Offer, that Talia Shire, who is Francis Ford Coppola's sister,
still was a good enough woman.
He wasn't treating.
Should still be acting.
He wasn't treating her right. So Francis, according to the TV series The Offer, says, go and rough him up for real. He said, tell James Caan, go and rough him up for real.
Wow.
You know, don't want to really hurt him, but give him something real. You know.
And he broke the broomstick.
Yeah, and a lot of that was real.
And you met him, and I met him. I met him too. I met him.
You should tell the story about.
Okay, so this is funny. So he.
It's about time.
It was. No.
It's about time we get something funny.
What's his name? The actor himself who played
Russo.
Giovanni Russo. He was on another podcast, and as a guest, and he had basically Brando took him under his wing because he felt like, even though he was never an actor, and and he knew the boys. That's how he got in. Mm-hmm. But Brando taught him a lot of the scenes, especially at the end when he's handed the plane tickets for Michael, and Brando was the one that said, "Don't look up. Don't just look at the tickets and just keep looking down. Keep looking down." So he did that, and it's a great scene.
That's a great Travolta doing Brando.
Thank you so much. All right, but anyway, as we all know, if anyone that knew the history of Marlon Brando, he had a thing for these Polynesian Asian women, all these kind of like islander chicks. So
I thought it was Native American women.
Well, whatever. Well, Giovanni Russo basically had a female driver. So Brando said, it's okay if I use your driver. I need to go somewhere. And so he would basically go with Giovanni Russo's, but Giovanni Russo didn't see his driver until the next day, and Brando back on the set. So we all know what was going on. So basically, what it comes down to is that I guess Brando kind of made him deal with him, saying, let me fuck around with your driver and I'll give you some great acting lessons.
So basically, he wanted to get with the driver.
He wanted to get with the driver, so he was fucking around with Giovanni Russo's driver Brando, and he was giving him acting. But he showed up on the day when Giovanni Russo had to film that scene when Michael was going to tell him, "You're out, and, you're going to Vegas." But we know he didn't end up going to Vegas. He ended up getting. That's it.
I know we're going off on a tangent, but we'll get back to this in a second.
Yeah.
All right, just one thing with Brando.
Yes.
And I was actually watching a few months ago. I was watching Last Tango in Paris. What do you guys think about that whole thing, that there was an actual that they actually had? I don't know if you heard anything about.
Are you talking transgender person?
No. The two of them actually had sex.
While they were filming.
While they were filming.
They actually did it.
Actually, there was penetration involved. What do you
I
think
don't
about the
know.
whole thing?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Brando was the type of actor that never used
back then,
that.
70s. Who knows?
So he basically liked to take one take. So that was basically his one take.
I guess so.
There's something called intimacy coordinators now. These female actresses are so worried about
the Me Too thing.
Yeah, with the Me Too thing or whatever, that they're so worried about something happening. Probably having to fool around with an ugly actor. That they have these intimacy coordinators now, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so
because they don't want that abuse kind of thing going on, like back in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Upcoming holiday movies. So let's, I guess, start with the big ones. Black Panther.
Well,
we'll start with your Disney Disney that you love. Your sacred Disney that you love so much, Keith.
No,
I can't stand
it's
Disney.
Marvel Studios, which is all right, but they're all, well. Anyway, I know to be honest, I like a lot of the Marvel movies. I was not. I thought the first one was great, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5. I thought it was good. I think there were better Marvel movies.
I walked into that movie
and I was like, it's okay. I mean, we'll see what happens with this sequel. I mean, there's a lot of new characters that are going to be introduced, and it's I guess ending Phase 4.
Of the Marvel
universe. Yeah. This is going to be the ending of Phase 4, and then we're going to start going to Phase 5, which will start with Ant-Man and Wasp, Quantumania, and stuff. So we'll see where that goes.
Did you see Black Panther, Mike?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was entertaining.
I mean, it's good, but I don't.
Michael B. Jordan.
By the way, that was the first black superhero ever. That was the first black superhero ever to be in
a comics,
in a superhero movie. Yeah, bullshit. What about Blade?
Exactly. And isn't Marvel trying to redo
Black Adam?
That was completely. I remember when they were hyping that up. You remember when they were hyping that up? They were actually saying in the media that was the first black superhero.
Now, did Blade come before Black
Panther? Because it was
Panther?
post George Floyd and all that stuff. So all that.
Did Blade come before in the comics? Black Panther.
In the
No. Black Panther's been around since I think the '60s when Stan Lee.
I think so.
And Jack and
yeah.
Wait. No, I'm saying Black Panther was Stan Lee and Jack.
But as far as the movies, Blade
was first. Blade had the 3 movies with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. But
which was a pretty good trilogy.
Yeah, comics was.
But now now Blade is going to come back again with what's his name?
But they say now it's going to be more female centric. It's like they're basically pushing Chadwick Boseman to the side. it's almost like he's an afterthought.
No, the movie is a tribute to him because his character in the movie.
We'll see.
They're
how much it's a
gonna.
tribute to him
Well,
or
you
not.
saw the trailer. You see that there's tributes to him.
Now is Michael B. Jordan in this one? He died. Did he die in the
He
first one?
died, but we don't.
But you know the universe changed.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's in the same
It's a
Marvel
comic book
universe,
yeah.
then
Who knows?
they could do anything.
But I know
they
there's
could
a lot,
bring back
but,
Iron Man
but I know,
if they
well,
wanted
I know.
to.
Well, no, they're going to introduce Ironheart, who's like the female Iron Man. She's like a teenager, and so she's getting introduced. And
A lot of people hate that, especially after Downey.
and Submariner is being Namor is being introduced. Namor.
Hey, did you see that Namor? How they're doing him?
Now,
now?
well, I thought he was a good guy.
He's like.
I thought he was a good guy.
I thought he was
Remember
supposed to
those-
be.
watch
Oh,
that.
speaking of old school, remember when we were growing up?
Namor, okay.
And they
Do
had
you
those.
know-
Remember
do
they
you
had
know the
those.
character?
Remember they had those
Namor?
old. Remember they had those old animated.
Submariner.
Remember those old.
It's basically
Oh,
Marvel's
Submariner.
Aquaman.
Yeah, remember those.
It's Marvel's
It's
Aquaman.
Marvel's Aquaman. Remember those old bad Marvel cartoons we were growing up with? They were on Sundays where it wasn't even true animation. It was like stock footage. And they had the Hulk, they had Spider-Man, they had Submariner, and it was like an Iron Man. It was so cheesy. It was so bad. Do you remember those? They were on like
Vaguely.
Sundays.
I remember Spider-Man is Amazing Friend.
Yeah, I
No,
remember-
I'm
I
not talking
remember
about
the
this. This is
X-Men
from, no, this
cartoons.
is from the 60s.
Okay.
Oh,
They're
from the 60s?
But they used
All
to,
right.
but they rebroadcasted them growing up. They were like on Channel 9 or Channel, and it was so bad. It was like on the Incredible Hulk. It was like, but it was like stock. It was like stills, and they tried to make it animated. It was so.
I don't
it was
remember-
so bad.
I
No,
don't think I've
Spidey and his
ever
Amazing
seen that.
Friends. I
Was
remember.
it anything like the He-Man where they just like looked like they were pushing the characters and scenes?
Hey!
Those static scenes.
Hey!
in the He-Man cartoons.
Hey, He-Man was the shit. So don't even be going off on my Masters of the Universe.
No,
I used to
listen,
come home. That was the
liked it
shit.
When I was a kid,
What disappointed me was
The
the
new cartoons was
what
horrible.
disappointed me was the 1987 movie with Dolph Lundgren because that was a major disappointment.
Frank Langella was the
that
best
was
part of that.
Yes, that was the only good thing.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I'm like, it was like, oh wow, they're finally doing a live action He-Man. Then you found out it was Glowing Globus, and you're like, oh.
Well, they ruin everything, right?
They screwed fucking
Hey.
Superman up.
Hey! But there was the Delta Force.
And
Delta Force was awesome.
And over the top. Hey yo! If I flip my cap, if I put my cap backwards, I get that extra power. I'm gonna put you over the top.
Speaking of Stallone, excuse me.
Oh, Stallone's the man. You know what I just saw that Amazon
CBS.
No, on the Amazon.
No,
the Amazon movie.
They just did a story on
Can we speak
CBS
about
Morning.
Stallone's daughter, Sistine, because she's really hot.
Wait.
Actually, a few of his
a few of his
daughters
daughters
are
are hot.
But I was gonna say they did
got good genes from the mother.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
this
Jennifer
morning.
Stokes, all right, yeah.
This morning on CBS Morning News.
Yeah.
You know, like that news program. They did.
Oh, I didn't watch it yet. I always
They
listen to
did
the movie
They
about
did a
Stallone.
story about Stallone going into television because he has a new show.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
playing.
he's the
He's a
mobster.
mobster.
Tulsa?
The Tulsa
Yeah.
Is it
King.
Tulsa?
The Tulsa
Yep,
King.
Tulsa King.
But you know what movie he did recently?
That's coming
Which
up.
was the Samaritan.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
was
see
really
that.
good. It was good.
It was
It
good.
was good.
I'll
It was.
have to maybe check it out at my mom's.
Yeah,
house. She said
it was very good. It was, and I was like really enjoyable. I was like, I'm watching. I was like, yo, Stallone still has it. Still has it. Not that he ever lost it, but I was like, it was a good movie. It was
He's
very
like
You know,
entertaining.
when you stay in shape,
75,
when you
76.
keep yourself so in shape.
I didn't realize that he had tattoos all over his freaking
Yeah.
body now. When did that
Oh
happen?
yeah.
A while back.
He's got the Bruce Willis thing. He's got an eagle across. Bruce Willis has the same thing too, like an eagle or whatever.
Is that like an
on the back and the front
Is
or
that
whatever.
because they were expendables or something like that?
I don't. Yeah, they both were.
Maybe. Who knows?
Wait, what's going on? Is there going to be another?
Oh, wait a
Expendables?
minute. All right. Remember when the first?
I don't know. It's expendable.
No,
the
this
movie.
is funny because Adam remembers this. Remember when the first Expendables movie came out, and I said,
Yeah, when
and,
it was
and I said,
Ugh.
I said, and they cast Mickey Rourke. I says, hey, now all you need now is Eric Robinson. You got to pop a Greenwich Village reunion. Who ends up in the movie? Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts is in everything. Eric Roberts is in talking dogs.
Oh,
Direct-to-video talking dog movies.
and-
he's in The Dark Knight. He's the.
And Adam can vouch for this. Eric Roberts has the brightest teeth I've ever seen out of any human being
Oh
in my
my
life.
God!
They're not real.
I got a picture with
They're
Eric
not real.
Roberts or whatever. Maybe one day I'll show on camera.
Where'd you go, Chilla?
And the
Theater?
man's and I swear to God, it's like the strobes in a J.J. Abrams movie, Star Trek movie. However, how bright his damn the shot is how bright. His dental work is how bright it is. His teeth.
I mean, when we met him, and we were like, and all I kept saying to myself, because he was signing a friend of ours, Best of the Best
Nice guy,
box set. He was very nice,
Yeah.
but I just walked.
Despite how
We
crazy this thing is.
walked away, and we said, and I just remember going over to Adam and saying, "Damn, his teeth are bright."
I don't think he drinks coffee.
I was like, "Damn."
I'll tell you, I don't know.
Oh wait!
If he's a smoker
Since
and
we're on that
drinker.
Chiller Theater that day when we met Eric Roberts, we also met Mr. who I'm so happy he's back.
Frank Stallone.
No,
Who are you?
we'll get to that. We met Martin Cove, who, as we all know, is Sensei John Kreese from Cobra Kai.
Right,
And let me
yeah,
tell you
it's
something. The man, this was how many years ago?
He had the reddest nose.
but he was the nicest guy, John Kreese. And Adam was talking. You were talking
John
to
Kreese?
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything bad about him.
No, I would never say nothing.
His son was right next to him.
His son was that, and then you were talking with his son.
Yeah,
So-
I was telling his sons, hey, you got to see those girls from Grindhouse. You got to go over. The two girl. I was like,
No,
a 16-year-old kid.
But what?
I was like,
no, but
dude,
what
these
made
two
John?
hot girls
But what
from
made John?
Grindhouse are next
I was about to say
You
John
gotta check
Kreese.
them out, man.
What made Martin Cove cool was that our friend Danny couldn't make it. He to the event, so he gave us his Karate Kid box set. He says, if you meet Martin Cove, see if you can get an autograph. So we go over to him and say, Mr. Cove and stuff, and he's like, call me Martin and stuff. And I said, a friend of ours couldn't come. Remember? He says, well, where is he? I says, he's home. He says, well, let's give him a call. And then next minute I said, Danny, there's somebody here wants to talk to you. And then Martin Cove's on the phone with Danny for like at least 20 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And Adam's talking to his son. And it was like he was so, and they were on. It wasn't a 2-minute. It was like a long conversation. I don't know what And Danny was like, "It's like you can't make this up." So nobody ever better say anything bad about Martin Cove because the man was so cool and nice, and he plays such a great bad guy. But anyway,
I never heard anything bad.
I never heard anything bad about him ever. And then we're walking away, but who's right? So literally, we're ready to leave and say goodbye to Martin Cove, and who's right next to Martin Cove was. Speaking of Stallone, but Frank Stallone. So I was like,
I remember he was a nice guy.
So I went over to Adam. I said, Adam, look, it's Frank Stallone. We both look at each other and we go, so? And we walked away. I felt bad.
I don't think I said so. I don't think I said so.
You were like,
hey,
so?
I am down.
Did I say so?
Yeah,
I
am down. So because
now I feel bad.
That's what makes it funny because you were like,
now I feel bad.
We're like,
hey guys,
I was like, look, Adam, it's Frank.
Guys,
I was like, look, Adam, it's Frank Stallone. You were like, so?
I am down. I am down, but I am not far from over.
Hey. Oh wait!
No,
speaking of that, and speaking of Danny, he's the only person I know that thinks that Staying Alive is a better sequel than Saturday Night Fever.
Yo, Frank Stallone's in that.
Yo, Far From Over. Yo, Fernando Hughes from General
Nobody
Hospital.
knows this person, but that's our friend anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's just that when you meet the one person that likes a movie that is considered one of the worst sequels ever made. The only good scene in Staying Alive is when Travolta bumps into Stallone in the cameo down the street wearing a big fur coat and he turns
The
around.
only thing I remember is Finola Hughes.
Yes.
Finola Hughes, is that her name?
Yes.
Finola Hughes.
Right. Because she was in a crime. She's very good.
And what's her name? Cynthia
Gibb?
Cynthia. She was in
Dirty Dancing. I'll find her
Wayne
name.
Gretzky's wife?
No, she was in Police Academy.
I'll find her on here.
5.
Oh, okay. All right. Cynthia Rhodes. Rhodes?
I think so.
Yeah,
because she was in
Dirty
Runaway.
Dancing.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Give me your Gene Simmons Runaway impression right here.
It wasn't very nice, Ramsey. The only time that Gene Simmons has acted gay was in that movie.
That's so wrong.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, that was that's a cult classic.
He was a great villain. He was a great villain, though.
Cult classic. That was a cult classic.
Yeah.
Runaway.
But John Badham. Directed by John Badham, the director of
Saturday Night Fever. See this?
Yeah.
You see this, folks? This is how everything is connecting. We're talking topics, but everything is connecting. So great.
We're talking topics. Yeah,
I forgot that John Badham directed that.
And War Games.
War Games, I knew. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew he directed.
It's kind of like a Doug Liman thing. He started off like in a small movie. Like Doug Liman started off about swing culture. John Badham started off about disco. And then
Cynthia Rhodes.
And then
Cynthia Rhodes, yeah.
But John, because of the limitations of the time, probably John Badham didn't get to do like something like now, like a huge, big, movie. With
No, I mean,
action
if,
set
no, I
pieces
mean, if
like
you
Big
look up all the
Miguel.
movies John Badham did, he did a lot of, it wasn't
Where is
just.
he? He's retired now, I guess. No, he didn't get beat sued or anything like that.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's one of we gotta look into that. We gotta do a deep dive into John Badham.
I could find out
Where is he?
now.
Where is he right now?
John
What was his
Badham.
last project, or?
Blue Thunder.
Yes,
Oh my God!
good movie.
One of my best memories.
Good
goes to
movie.
Blue Thunder. with
Remember-
my dad.
remember the TV
With my
series?
dad. May rest in peace.
Remember the TV series? It
Uh,
was very short lived.
was that Dick Butkus?
It was Dick Butkus and Bubba Smith.
Bubba Smith, oh,
right? But you
God.
know who? But who were the main
Yeah,
pilots?
we got to replace him for Roy Scheider.
No,
Dick
no,
Butkus and
no, it wasn't. Dick Butkus.
Roy
and-
Scheider.
No.
and Malcolm McDowell. Catch.
I'm
you
gonna
later.
no. I'm gonna tell you who played the.
If you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking
No, I'm gonna
about.
no the
Malcolm
Roy
McDowell's
no the
my
Roy
favorite.
Scheider character was played by James Ferrantino,
Right.
and his
Oh,
and his,
okay.
and,
All right.
and-
Okay, now I remember,
and
yeah.
the co-pilot, I believe in the movie was Daniel Stern.
Who's Daniel Stern?
You know,
Who's
John
doing that?
Badham did
Yeah.
Short Circuit and Stakeout
Oh my-
too.
What was my
Remember
technology?
Stakeout? Weren't you just
And
talking about
And
Stakeout?
Stakeout. That's so funny.
He was just talking. He was just talking about that.
too.
I can't believe Adam.
And I think somebody famous did. I think somebody established did Stakeout too. Actually, too.
I can't believe you were just talking about Stakeout
That is so.
and John.
All great movies. He did great movies.
I told yeah.
Here are
Wow.
a few
And a lot
unrealized
with
projects.
technology. A lot with technology and
Well, War
Hey,
Games
guys.
is a great movie.
computers and everything related.
Here's
Yeah.
some unrealized projects.
Yeah.
The Wiz,
What?
Brew Baker.
No,
First
Blood.
wait,
You forgot a lot of
no,
stuff.
wait, no. He did not direct The Wiz.
No, he did not. It's an
No, Sid-
unrealized.
No,
Sid Lumet.
Yes, right.
Unrealized projects he was
And I know
going
that
to
because we
do,
started the
but
other day.
he didn't get
Sidney
them.
Lumet didn't do a great job on The Wiz.
First Blood, The Dead Zone,
Wiz was
Starman, Project X,
Starman?
Short Circuit
Starman.
2, Ghost Dad, Patriot Games, The Firm.
mean Ghost Dad with the
John Badham would have probably
And
been a great
Dragonheart.
director.
Wait,
Patriot Games.
He didn't get those. so-
What's his name? Food Noise was.
he talking Ghost Dad with the Cosb? But I think, what's his name directed that movie?
His
who
last-
was the one that did Hollywood Shuffle? Robert Townsend did Ghost Dad, directed that. I think so.
I'm trying to figure out your impression.
It's my Bill Cosby impersonation.
That's Bill Cosby.
No.
That's
No, because if you
No,
don't...
you see, Theo.
Now it's time for Battling Impressions, brought to you by Nabisco.
you gotta put-
You
you-
gotta
if you
make
really-
sure that the fridge is
Now
filled with
you know
Jell-O pudding
that the
and-
Jello pudding and the Coca-Cola. I put the little thing in
the
there
cabinet
for the
and the
ladies
cabinet
and make them
and
go
the
to
cabinet
sleep.
is filled with roofies for the women. I'm just kidding.
No, because
Forget that part.
No.
You know, don't tell your mother.
Theo, if you want to get to, if you gotta get to first base, you gotta have.
Those are the worst impressions I've ever heard of Bill
Some
Cosby.
spare bats.
Canceled.
Canceled. Thank you for joining our first and last episode of Don't Quit Your Day Job, and brought to you by Nabisco.
I thought it was Texas Instruments.
All right, so he was up.
yeah.
So he was really
He
talented.
worked on
was
some television
probably
films. The
producer-
most
probably a
recent was
producer,
Evil
probably producer,
Knievel
probably.
on TNT in 2004.
Yeah, but that's not recent.
We need a proper
Television
Evil Knievel.
series, let's see,
they were supposed to make-
2018.
They were supposed to make a theatrical movie.
Wait a minute.
Evil
Wait a minute.
Knievel.
Didn't what's his
I think
name?
McConaughey was up.
No,
for
no,
it.
no. Didn't what's his name play Evil Knievel?
What's that?
What's his name? Who was always tanned?
George, not.
That's what I do. George Hamilton.
George Hamilton?
I think George Hamilton played Evil Knievel.
Let's look that
Yeah.
up.
But McConaughey would have been good. And I think McConaughey was up for. They were gonna a few years ago. They were gonna do.
Wait, didn't Evil Knievel?
with McConaughey.
Didn't Evil Knievel play himself?
I-
Also.
Think so.
I'm not sure.
Let's see. Evil Knievel.
And
Let's see who played him.
His son is still out there doing the stunts.
What Evil
stuff,
Knievel
right?
June? Is it Junior?
Robbie.
Oh, Robbie
Knievel?
Knievel. Okay.
I don't know if I can find that information, but keep talking.
All right.
All
well,
right.
anyway, go ahead.
Want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Next movie.
Yes.
Okay. Let's stay on Marvel. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Look, I saw the trailer. It looks good, and I was a big fan of the first
What
two
did they
movies.
do to Evangeline Lilly? She is not looking sexy as she used to look with that haircut. Oh, I'll tell you that much. Other than that, I have no interest.
So what's next? What's the next
What's
movie?
next? What's next?
All right, that was a short one. Okay, The Fablemans. which should be called the Spielbergs.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They
right.
also had a story about that on
because
CBS
because
today.
Michelle Williams looks
I put
exactly
on
like
Facebook-
it looks exactly like
Yeah,
Michelle
it's the
Williams looks
haircut.
like his mother.
yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he was telling a story during this CBS morning program. He was saying that, his parents got separated.
Yep.
And for all those years, he thought it was his father, and his father took the heat for it, so to speak. And he didn't speak to his father for a long time, but it was actually the mother that left the father. So the father was protecting the children by telling he took the heat for it.
So basically, this movie is semi-autobiographical.
It's autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an
But
autobiography.
but it's even got like, what is it, Fireflight? Looks like they're gonna show like him doing his early movies, his
Right, his
miniature and
little
stuff like that. Right,
films
right.
when he
When
was
he
a
was
kid.
doing that World War II thing with his friends in the desert and stuff. So they're gonna recreate that, and it's got Alex Riga as Grandpa.
That's right.
Anything Judd Hirsch, great actor.
Yeah.
Anything Judd Hirsch does.
I don't
is
think he's
great.
gonna be driving a cab in this one.
No. I don't think so.
Where's
Thank you
Grandpa?
very
He's
much.
driving his cab. Anyway.
No Latka.
No, it'd be cool to see Judd Hirsch again.
Yeah.
He actually is very good.
He aged pretty
He actually
good,
was
believe
very
it or
good in
not.
movies.
Yes,
What was the ones?
Well,
years
he
later?
Independence Day.
Well,
He was
no,
in
no,
Independence
no,
Without a Trace?
no. Prior to that, he got
The one where he
got
was
an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor for Ordinary People.
Yeah, that
because
was
he
a very
played
good
he
movie.
played the therapist, but he lost to Timothy Hutton, who played the patient,
Right.
in Ordinary People. But he was doing that while he was still on Taxi, because Taxi went to like 84. So he got an Oscar nomination. Besides winning how many Emmy awards for playing Alex
But wasn't there
Riga.
another movie where he was he a cop or something like that? And there was a missing kid.
Oh yes.
Was it Without a Trace?
Yeah.
No. It was always on
forget the name of
HBO
it.
because
Right.
it was Without a Trace. But that one actually ended in a nice ending where the kid was found.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
he was going to take the kid, his son, to the amusement park, and they ended up finding the kid. Yeah.
Without a Trace.
There was something else he was in. I can't remember.
I think the actress was what's her name, who was in The Fugitive. Not The Fugitive. U.S. Marshals, who played what's his name's boss. I'm trying to think of the actress. I think it was called.
I'd have to look it up.
I think it was called Without a Trace.
I believe.
Yeah,
Let's-
but that was one of the ones that actually
Hold on.
ended in a happy ending, where the kid
You
was
look that
found.
one up. I got to look up something.
Where the kid was found. Yeah, he played the detective.
But there was something else he was in besides that. Judd Hirsch. I'm trying to.
Well, he was great in
remember.
Independence Day.
He's done a lot of Broadway too.
Yes,
Yeah.
a phenomenal actor. Well, if you think about it, when you watch Taxi, his name comes up first before even Taxi. Remember, he was the main.
That's right.
He was the main star.
That's true.
It's a Judd Hirsch in
Taxi.
and then all the supporting players from Tony Danza, Mary Lou Hanna, and so on were listed. But that was Judd Hirsch's show,
Okay.
Taxi.
Also,
and what's his name? He was great in
Without a Trace. It is
Without a Trace.
Detective.
Yeah, it is Without a Trace.
Al Minetti.
right. No, and
1983.
right.
Yep.
19. He was also great in Dear John.
That
Yeah,
was a good show. Yeah.
You were on that, Kirk.
Shut up. That was a good show. I liked Dear
It
John.
was a good show.
It was a good show.
Yeah, he's.
He's just a
very
great,
underrated
just a
actor,
great,
too.
just a great actor. Just a great actor.
I forgot his name right now.
Jeremy, the guy who played,
On Dear John?
yeah, Jeremy something. The one who
No, Kirk was somebody else.
played- no, Jeremy
Was,
something. No, the actor's name is Jeremy something.
I could look it up. Hold on.
No.
Dear John. Hold on.
Anyway, let's move
All right,
on.
all right.
Let's move on. Oh, well, okay, but The Fablemans also features some very interesting
Say
character.
there.
Some very interesting character actors.
Jerry
in-
Burns.
I say
Jeremy Burns.
Yeah,
Jeremy
Burns.
Burns.
There you go.
Paul Dano, also known as the new Riddler.
I didn't even see that Batman
he's
movie
his
yet.
father.
I didn't even see
Yeah.
that Batman movie yet.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that some other time.
Okay.
The Batman.
And he actually looks like his father too. The cast is really good for this film. And Seth Rogen, I think, is in it. I forgot who he plays. He plays somebody famous too. And David Lynch plays the legendary director John Ford.
And what movie is that again?
The Fablemans.
Oh, the favorite. That's the Steven Spielberg.
So wait, that was
Director David
so wait,
Lynch.
so wait, that was Spielberg's favorite director growing up, John Ford, or he wanted to be John Ford. I guess you'll.
Well, we'll find out. Watch the movie. You'll find out. Okay, Glass Onion. I know Keith heard about this one.
Yes, it's.
I know he knows the main actor in
Yeah,
this one.
it's
The one
it's
it focuses around.
it's a
Time out, Adam. Can you push that boom arm down a little bit.
All right. Okay.
Just push it down. We
It's-
can edit that. Keep going. Keep going.
It's the
right there. Right there. Good.
It's a Knives Out story.
Right, Knives Out story.
Yeah,
Knives Out.
Knives
Okay.
Out. Same.
And I didn't see Knives Out.
Oh, Knives Out.
That was
great.
a good movie.
You haven't seen a few things, but I haven't seen Knives Out.
Really good. Really good movie.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. It was done really well. Great murder mystery. It was just done really, really well. And
Yeah,
he's
that
and,
was-
and Daniel Craig
who's
is
the producer for
Daniel
that?
Craig. Mike thinks he's like Foghorn Leghorn in it.
Rian Johnson.
but he was really good.
Yeah. Now.
But he was-
I'm gonna solve
the thing
this
is, he's so
mystery.
good. He's so
here.
good in it, Daniel Craig. That's why they wanted to give him another movie so he can solve another case as his character.
Isn't that going to go straight
No.
to streaming though?
No, it's going to be in theaters and on Netflix.
Oh, it's going to be both. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll check that out if it's on Netflix. Yeah. Eventually, I'll see Knives
And he's got
Out
a good
too.
and he's got a good cast, and he's reunited.
I-
and he's reunited with Dave Bautista.
I saw the movie with the Orient Express. That was pretty good.
Well, no, I
one
like
on the
That was pretty good.
Well, you know what was good? No,
Yeah,
Death,
yeah, yeah.
Death on the Nile was good.
They were both. They were both.
Death on
actually
the Nile.
See,
Death
the
on
first one was better, though.
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
doing another one.
He's doing the third
He's
one.
doing a third one. But Death on the Nile, I saw in the theaters, and I thought it was great. I liked the twist at the end. I thought it was done well. Yeah, he's a good director, Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
He's a very good director.
You wouldn't think that Agatha Christie stuff would be that.
But he
any
did.
interest in it.
He's done a very
But
good
yeah,
job
I-
with
I
it.
actually-
It works, and it's like a period
and he's
piece,
great.
too.
And he's great as a
Yeah.
detective.
Yeah. And for a period pieces don't do that great
Yeah.
these days.
No, Death on that.
But yeah, I think that's an exception. So who's in the cast of Glass Onion?
I said he's
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista's reunited with Dave Bautista.
Right. It's Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Kate
Hudson?
Kate Hudson.
Yeah, she's in that. I don't think Jamie Lee's in her.
Jeanette
Jamie
Monet,
Lee's not in
Jeanette
this one.
Monet, or whatever.
Janelle Monáe?
Janelle Monáe.
Jeanette Monet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a good cast.
Right. Okay.
Well, the first one had a great cast. When you see the first one, you'll see what I'm talking. Right? The first one had a really good cast.
So did you see the ending? Did you see the twist coming at the end, or was it a real surprise? I mean, could you figure it out at the
I
end?
kind of figured it out at
toward
the end.
Toward the end, I kind of figured it out, but it was just done really well. And I think it was what's his name's last role too was Christopher Plummer.
Christopher Plummer,
It was
yes.
his last role.
Last role.
It was his last role.
Speaking of Michelle Williams, did you see that movie where he played Getty?
No.
Well, that was the last minute thing. Remember, they had to reshoot.
Yeah,
those.
right.
And he
That
had-
was
and he
right
had-
because Kevin
Spacey, and he ended up getting an Oscar.
She's amazing in that movie.
And he ended up getting an Oscar nomination.
Plummer's great in that
he got
movie, too.
He got an Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even his role originally.
Yeah, but that was a surprisingly good movie. That movie, The Whole Wide World, I think.
You think Kevin Spacey will ever be back?
I don't know. He beat the case. But his reputation is tarnished.
Yeah. And I tried to get into
So. House of Cards?
House of Cards.
That was great.
and
He
and
was
that's
the whole
most realistic
show.
thing that David
I'm
Fincher
sorry,
ever did.
he was the whole show. I mean, she was good, but Jenny, but Robin Wright was good, but it was really his show.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate that what they had to do to change the script to fit what was going on around.
That's because his own actions.
It was
Supposedly.
loosely based on Clinton, right? They said it was loosely based on Clinton. The
yeah,
Clinton White House.
No, Primary Colors was based on Clinton. We own that.
that's for
Wow,
sure.
yeah.
Let me get one of those apple fritters. We're going to win this thing. Travolta.
I'll tell you.
Travolta was good in that.
Yeah,
Primary Colors.
I mean, he was on a roll for a while, and they gave him so many different eclectic roles.
Oh, wait, you know who directed that too?
Yeah.
Was Mike Nichols.
Oh wow, another
Mike
that
Nichols
was a loss.
Mike.
Yeah,
great
he was
phenomenal director.
Besides Working Girl, he did
The Graduate, of course. We'll put him on.
Graduate, right?
Guess who's
Guess Who's
afraid?
Coming to Dinner?
No, not Guess Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Who's been,
Yeah.
But something more recent than that.
Oh, The Birdcage.
Oh, The Birdcage. That was good.
Oh,
That was a
yeah.
good movie.
Mike Nichols.
Very
Mike
funny.
Nichols was all over the place. Like
You got a schmear.
No, he did. No, he
Men
was just,
schmear.
He was just a great. The Working Girl was.
Ben Schmear.
You can't be Jewish.
I know what he did. Wolf.
It's not
I'm an
Coleman.
He did
It's
Wolf.
Coleman.
Wolf.
I'm an attaché to
I like
Greece.
Wolf. A lot of people didn't like Wolf. I liked Wolf.
Wolf. Oh, with Nicholson?
With Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
They were reunited after what do you call
Witches
it?
of Eastwick.
Which I just saw the
Yeah.
other day again. Great movie.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't see the sequel
Cher's
to.
very good in that movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of witches,
All three of them look
Yeah,
good.
Hocus-
Cher's surprisingly good actress. She's
Hocus Pocus 2.
phenomenal.
Did you guys watch
Yeah.
it?
Let me tell you something. Sorry, Mike.
If she didn't have singing, she would be able to do that.
Cher should
make a career of acting.
Cher should have gotten, and I think that's when they stubbed her for Mask.
Yeah, I remember.
She was
she was good.
She was brilliant in Mask.
Yeah.
She
the whole cast was brilliant.
right, but she was like that show. I think her acting in Mask is better than Moonstruck, and she won for Moonstruck the Oscar, but she was phenomenal in Mask.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, she can act.
But just like if you watch like Witches of East, she had a real like natural.
Yeah.
She's a very natural actress.
And then Silkwood,
Silkwood,
she got nominated
with Meryl Streep.
With Meryl Streep, but who's and that was like when she won. Meryl
Gaga's I have problems with the whole Joe Biden, but Gaga's the same way. I have to admit, though.
No, she's a good actress.
She's kind of has like that Cher flow, which is natural.
She's very talented all around.
Yes.
I don't know if she's in any upcoming movies, but she should be.
Yeah, she just played Gucci's.
I saw that. That was actually she was pretty good in that.
And Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
What is with that makeup? Jesus.
Did Jared Leto look like?
I want to see that movie.
But he looked like what's his name from who was on The Ropers.
Oh, Jeffrey Tambor.
Jeffrey Tambor.
He's like,
hey now.
He's like Jeffrey Tambor has done so much since The Ropers. It's like Larry Sanders.
I mentioned The Ropers. Remember he was in. But he always made. But he always
transparent. But he's the guy. He's like this world class.
No, but the funny thing is, he always made fun of his not like being bald. Because remember he was in Injustice for All.
He was always bald.
And at the end, after Pacino's sitting on the steps and what's his name goes by, he says, "Hey, what's up?" And he lifts up his hairpiece. At the end of Injustice for All, great Pacino movie.
Hooah!
No, it's just...
And I think directed by Sidney Lumet, who we mentioned earlier.
Sidney Lumet.
Oh, okay.
Also directed Tootsie, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
No, you're thinking of what's his name? Who not Sidney Lumet.
Cindy Pollock.
Cindy Pollock.
Another great.
I got the two Sydneys confused.
Sorry. Sidney Pollock.
And a surprisingly good actor.
Yes, and Sidney, right, because he was on the he played that one episode of The Sopranos.
Forget about that. Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. But no, Pollock, but directed.
Let's just cut the bullshit.
But he won the Oscar for directing Out of Africa.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another loss.
Tootsie, 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Great movie. 82.
Well, I wasn't.
82 produced a lot of good movies that were up for Best Picture. E.T. Tootsie. And who wins? Gandhi.
Boring film.
I can't get over that one.
I went to see Gandhi with my parents.
I don't understand it.
What happened?
But you know what? It's Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley.
He's a
great actor.
And the Academy loves biopics.
And he doesn't do that great. And he's like, it's kind of like Malcolm McDowell with him. He's like stuck in this taking any role hell.
And you know who directed Gandhi, right?
It's like with Ben Kingsley. It's like you see him in the shittiest movie. I mean, he did get what was the Mandarin?
The Mandarin,
Iron Man 3.
No,
the Mandarin. What was with that southern accent there? And the man, hey, I'm the Mandarin. It's supposed to be a Chinese. He's supposed to be an Asian.
Well, it's
like it's like, what the hell was with that?
Yeah.
Gotta love Disney Marvel.
You know who?
I guess he needed the money.
You know who directed Gandhi too, right? Who you met?
Sand and Fog.
Was Sir Richard Attenborough.
Sir Richard Attenborough.
Sorry about that.
This phone call has been brought to you by
Gillette, a best a man can get.
Brooklyn College asking for donations. Our old Alabama motto.
I told you not to call me here.
All right.
We'd like to talk to you about your car insurance.
Since we're in the third hour of our podcast, Emancipation. Will Smith bitch slaps his way out of Louisiana. A Louisiana slave plantation. What do you think about that one?
Let's see who even goes. I think he's going to get a huge boycott of what he did from Oscar night.
Yeah. But this sounds interesting, though.
People like to forget very quickly, though.
This sounds interesting, though. I haven't seen the trailer for it, but it sounded kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, he's, I guess, trying to play a runaway slave at, what, almost 60 now? An old runaway slave.
All right.
But,
I'll pass, thank you.
You'll pass on that one. Okay.
All right, what do we got coming?
Devotion, black fighter pilot in the Korean War. It's kind of like a Maverick thing, but kind of a Korean War fighter pilot thing. I saw the trailer for it. It looks okay. She Said, about Harvey Weinstein, the Harvey Weinstein case, starring Zoe Kazan and Carey Mulligan. What do you think about that? You think it's too soon?
Yeah. I don't think people really need to see it. They know the whole thing about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess what was that Fox movie? The one where
about the guy that was
Charlize Theron played
Fox, but yeah,
played Megan Kelly. And all that.
Kelly,
yeah.
There were like 2 movies.
Those movies don't do that well. Those type of movies don't really do that well. I mean, even if there's a really good performance in it or whatever, I guess people just don't have interest in it. It's just
Because they know the real story already.
They know the real story.
It's not like a biography like Ray Charles or, somebody, Johnny Cash or somebody like that. That's
or Bohemian Rhapsody or...
Right, you don't know everything about these people.
What's the next big biopic coming up? It's a musical biopic.
I don't know. I thought that was your job to look it up.
Oh, no, there's something I forgot. Keith would know.
you know what I saw, speaking of those musical which was the Elvis movie.
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that.
it was okay. It was different, and that's Baz Luhrmann. He likes to be totally
because it focused a lot on the
Colonel, played by Tom Hanks. But the actor himself who played Elvis,
he was very good.
He's definitely going to get an Oscar nomination. He was very good in the movie.
He became Elvis.
Yes, he did. I mean, there were scenes where you're like, oh, yeah, you really forgot it was. You really, it was good. I would definitely recommend it as a viewing to see, and then you'll actually feel sorry because you'll see what Elvis had to go through.
Yeah, and Elvis could have been actually bigger than he was if he would have went international.
Yeah.
But the reason why he didn't go international was because Colonel Tom Parker was really an illegal immigrant or whatever, and he couldn't travel.
His real name.
He couldn't even travel overseas.
Overseas, so that's why he kept Elvis.
That's why Elvis also hated the Beatles, because the Beatles were going worldwide and Elvis wasn't.
Yeah.
So in order to bring Elvis to a worldwide audience, that's when he went into the movies.
And Colonel Tom Parker was
could have been even bigger.
All the money, but he kept him in those cheesy 60s movies.
They were horrible movies.
Except Viva Las Vegas is good with Anne Margaret. That's a good one. All right, what's next?
What did you think about that kid's performance in Elvis?
That it was great.
He's great. He's definitely going to get an Oscar nomination.
And I think he's like a former
he's very
Disney
good.
Kid or whatever.
Very good.
He was on a Disney series.
He literally. I think
was it on Glee?
He was definitely method acting in that one.
Yes, he was.
I can tell you that much.
He was fantastic in it. Yeah.
But that was they totally used Elvis's actual music, right? That was for the movie, right? I mean,
yeah.
He didn't sing at all.
I'm not sure if he sang along with any of it, but it was mostly Elvis.
Yeah.
But he did sing some of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sang all of it.
I would definitely, you'll watch it because you'll see a lot about the 68 comeback special and all that. You'll know all about the history behind that. And there's a lot of things where you're like, oh, wow. When you're watching, you're like, oh, my God, I didn't realize that's what just definitely watch it. You'll enjoy it.
Okay, you guys may not know this director, but he does great stuff. And this is a Christian Bale movie, so you may want to hear about it. Pale Blue Eye. World-weary detective is hired to investigate the murder of a West Point cadet.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention Amsterdam, directed by David O. Russell.
Well, no, that came out already. That's the past already, and that movie kind of tanked.
Yeah, what happened with that? Because nobody's going to the theaters?
They're claiming it's an anti-Trump statement and all that.
David O. Russell's a very good, and he is good. He's a phenomenal director, and he directed one of our favorite films of all time, American Hustle, which I love.
But this guy Scott Cooper, he did some great movies. You guys should watch Out of the Furnace. Watch Out of the Furnace. That's a great movie.
Okay.
Another one called Hostiles, which is a brutal Western movie. Brutal. You guys should check these movies out.
Okay.
If you haven't seen this guy Scott Cooper's work. I forgot what else he did before that. He does like real gritty, stuff, realistic type stuff.
Never saw any of his stuff.
Yeah. So who else is featured in this cast?
We're getting close to the hour there.
Gillian Anderson's in this.
She was great in The Crown, by the way.
Charlotte Gainsbourg, Bobby Duvall. Wait.
Robert Duvall.
Bobby Duvall is
still
in
acting.
this.
And I'm telling you, Robert Duvall,
Toby Jones,
hands down, top 10 greatest actors of all time.
Spaulding,
one of them. Yeah,
I got you right. You had to put Robert Duvall in top 10 of greatest actors of all time.
Oh yeah.
And I tell people that have never seen the movie, you want to talk about good acting?
Checking out.
If there's one movie, not even The Godfather, there's one movie that you want to watch that you will see the embodiment of a phenomenal actor that Robert Duvall is. You watch The Apostle.
I don't remember it.
Apostle.
I remember we've had Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett. He produced it and he starred in it.
Rest in peace.
And it is an amazing movie, and he should have won Best Actor for that again. He was phenomenal. He was nominated. I forgot who he lost to. It is his hands down his best performance, The Apostle.
I think DiCaprio was attached to this movie at one point or something. I think, was this the one Scorsese was going to do it?
Well, DiCaprio's his new muse anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, okay.
Which you know how he became Scorsese's muse, right?
How?
Because his old muse went over to him and said, "Marty, this kid's pretty good. This kid's good. You got to put him in. You got to put him in your movies. You got to put him." Robert De Niro went to Martin Scorsese and said, "You got to check this kid out. This kid is the real deal as an actor." And then the rest is history, and that's why Scorsese puts him in a lot of movies.
Anyway, we're coming to the end of the program. Do we have a special segment this week that you would like to present, Keith?
Well, there's where everyone...
That sounded really natural, I must say, Michael.
Thank you, Michael, so much for that really warm
that
introduction.
Really natural, flowing.
If anybody knows me, I'm
segments.
always the deliverer of. I'm telling people when I call them over there, guess who died? So
in
memoriam section. So
it's like guess who fucking died?
Hey, Mike.
What the fuck?
Hey, Mike, how you doing today? Guess who died? Not hello, how are you? Hey, Mike, guess who died?
So, the big person that died this past week was the killer himself, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have some other people that...
Well, what's his name? We got some shocking news, which really wasn't shocking news when you heard it last night.
One of the best movies of the 80s.
Aaron Carter died, but you knew he always
Aaron Carter died?
Yeah, he drowned himself in a bathtub.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but he, unfortunately he had, issues since he was a kid, and it's a sad story.
It's got to be substance abuse, right? It's an overdose.
Yeah. But Jerry Lee Lewis...
Jeez.
Jerry Lee Lewis was one of those...
I mean, his 30s,
was one of those musician artists, whatever, that people was like, I thought he died already.
Also,
but
he died in bed.
He basically could have been bigger than he was, but he had the scandals. He married his 13-year-old cousin, which is depicted in the movie Great Balls of Fire, which is not
played by Winona Ryder.
Right, played by Winona Ryder, and Dennis Quaid played him. And
one of the best movies of the 80s.
And it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin actually played his his cousin was Jimmy Swaggart.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. So a little small. It's not a bad movie, but it obviously...
One of the more likable roles for Alec Baldwin.
Right. But it gets into what, Jerry Lee Lewis was huge. He was as big as Elvis, and they were from the same area and everything, and he didn't like Elvis. They were rivals. He did not like Elvis, but because of marrying the 13-year-old cousin... Which even today,
today, forget about it.
I guess that was that was like the beginning of Alec Baldwin's career, and I guess at that point he was like just giving anything a shot.
No, he was a soap star.
Yeah, he was on his.
You guys,
soap operas,
all right, I forget.
All right.
Also, the
giving
third
anything
person,
a shot.
Yeah, right.
Anything a shot.
Hold on, wait.
There was another person, a rapper from the Migos, Takeoff. He also passed away.
That guy, yeah.
So we'll just keep it to like three. Pretty.
But the big legendary one, which I guess that's an end of an era, was Jerry Lee Lewis, because I guess he's one of the last ones out of that generation
from the 50s, early rock and roll
that were pioneer. I mean, he was actually with the Rock and Roll of Fame.
A lot of shit going on.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was inducted in the first class.
He was only a few people.
You guys remember that scene? You guys remember Elvis is in bed with a chick, and he sees Jerry Lee Lewis on the TV. And he's like, the actor doesn't talk at all. He just gives like
the face.
And he's like,
he gives like the Elvis. What do you call that?
The lip snarl.
Right, the snarl. He gives him the Elvis snarl.
And he's probably thinking, so
who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is.
I don't like this guy.
I don't know this guy.
By the way, go. Honey,
comes back to bed.
Honey, by the way, get out of bed and go give me a peanut butter banana sandwich.
Anyway, that's
fried peanut butter and bologna sandwich.
No, it's fried peanut. No, fried.
Anyway, that's about the end of this program. Yeah.
Fun.
So, thank you for joining us on our first podcast. Remember, this is the Don't Quit Your Day Job podcast, and we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.